Hi, Maria here. Today I'm going to alter some watercolor paper with modeling paste and paints. As you can see here, I have some examples. I'm using small stencils so I can fit four almost on the page to give you some idea. Some heavy duty Strathmore watercolor paper. I'm using Liquitex modeling paste. And I'm going to show you how I made those previous examples. So I'm using just some tape to hold down the stencil, using a knife to spread it out. You would spread it out thin like you spread out peanut butter on bread, very even and as thin as you can because you don't want big mounds of it on the page. One thing also, you need to wipe off the wet paste right away or put them in a watery pail of or something, or wash them off right away. Otherwise, you won't have crisp lines if you use a dirty stencil. This stencil has lots smaller openings between the letters and makes it easier to spread actually. And the paste dries really hard. It gets dry pretty quickly, so after a couple hours you can go in and start designing. I made these with the idea to maybe make some Christmas ornaments eventually by cutting out some shapes, put them together and bling them up with some Christmas details. I might make a video of that too. So you can see how it can be used. I'm using the same tape there. Those are just flowers. So very easy to use. So you can see that was really easy. I'm going to do a tag here also, just random. And I'm not taping this down because it's too small. And you can use that as a tag or cut it up. There's no rules here. Let that dry. Here it's all dry, so actually that was one I did ahead of time. But they're the same pattern. So I have some Lyra water-soluble crayons that I thought I'll try on this. You want to get the areas between the raised parts painted first. Actually, this kind of covers everything, but you're going to go over the raised parts with other paints. So you want to get the base down first. I really like these crayons and so many yummy colors. And then I decided to go in with some acrylic artist paints. And I'm using a lot of water to spread it out, kind of like a watercolor thickness. So here you can see I put a base down. I've speeded up the video so much because otherwise it will sit here forever. So now I'm going in with the second layer and I'm putting everything on with my hands or finger, as you can see. And I try to just slide it gently over the raised parts to just get the raised parts. That doesn't always work, but it actually works pretty good. And here I'm showing you how you could actually go in and just paint the patterns. That's the raised pattern with a brush. But for this purpose, I don't have an interest of doing that. But you can also go in and paint more detail. Here I'm going in with the second. I'm just kind of highlighting the raised parts with a slightly darker color, and that makes them stand out more. And here I'm going with some other darker kind of turquoisey blue on top. So it's kind of backwards from, normally you always start with a dark color, but for this type of pattern, I find that it shows much better if you have darker color on top. And then I always end with gold or silver or copper paint. You can also use embossing powder. That would work very well for this. You can see how that could lend itself to some cool Christmas ornaments for the tree. Cutting out some cute patterns. And those could just be round where the flowers are. Here you can see I painted the green by hand with a brush, and I liked the way that looked, but for the purpose of keeping this video short, I'm not going to do it. But here I'm ending the design with some gloss medium. It makes it even stiffer, and you can see, well, you couldn't really see the bling there, but it's really shiny and goldy and blingy. And here I have the tag. I started with a turquoise. I want to let you know ahead of time that it ends rather abruptly, but it all ended with just a lot of gold on top of, you'll see the gold here, but it decided to put red and turquoise together, which is a little bit risque for color combination, but I love how they look together when you have gold on top. I could actually write on the back of this and use it as a gift tag, or you can cut it up and use it in your art journal. Or leave it the way it is and use it in the art journal. I love using my fingers for painting because you can feel what's needed and the pressure to use. Well, there's nothing to it, you know, you just can experiment with some colors, and you can always fix what doesn't work. It's very forgiving. I added just some pencil marks to maybe cover up some blemishes there. So thank you for watching, and go and try this. It's really fun, actually.